All right, what's up, everybody? This is Cody, aka DFS Prodigy, coming out with my friend Kirk, who is all over Twitter. You can find him on there, and I'll drop his link in the YouTube bio. Basically, we're going to knock out the betting lines for Week 14 NFL. We got a couple of lines that are interesting to us, so on and so forth. We're even going to include the Thursday night game and knock out that one. So, starting off, how's it going, man?
Doing good. Just had my wife just had a baby. Baby's perfect. I'm loving dad life so far. Been having a lot of late nights, but just throw a earbud in and listen to some podcasts and rock the baby to sleep. So
Right,
getting a lot of football knowledge and dad knowledge. Learning a lot.
right. So we're going to knock out this Thursday night game that we see with the Patriots and the Rams. What are your first initial thoughts on this game?
So the first line that I saw move was the under. The under started off at 45 and a half, and it's all the way down to 44 now. It looks like it might even move down maybe to 43 and a half from what I'm hearing. But I really like the under. The Patriots coming off of a win has been hit the under 5 times in a row. The Rams at home is usually always under. Both these defenses are good defenses, especially the way the Rams are playing. And I just Cam Newton could come out and score 30, or he could come out and score 13 or 20. We just don't know. Same thing with Goff. Goff's been pretty inconsistent, and he hasn't looked that great at home. I just think it's going to be a slow, muggy game, and I'll take the under.
Exactly. That's where I'm looking at also is even though even though Gilmore is kind of washed up, you still have elite defenses of both ends. And we don't know what we're gonna get out of the running backs if Cam Akers is starting, if Henderson's starting, and Brown starting. We don't know what Sean McVay's plan is. And we don't know how much Cam Newton's going to pass. We've seen him pass for 16 attempts, the next game pass for over 30. We don't know what we're going to get, honestly, with how many pass attempts this game will be. So I like the under also at under 44. I think this game stays under quite well. Moving on to the first game of the NFL slate or the NFL Week 14 slate, we have Tennessee Titans and Jacksonville Jaguars. What are your thoughts on this first game?
Mike Glennon says he is playing. And this might be his last couple starts ever in his career, so he is trying to do all he can to give these Jags a couple wins. He is fighting. I love watching him play, and for some reason, they always are in the game. So I
Right.
like plus 9 points.
Yeah. So that's where I like also is you have James Robertson, who's literally the most underrated running back, in my opinion, in the NFL right now. Because look at his stats, he's always running the ball no matter what the game flow is. He's always getting touches. They're always staying in the game, like you said. And Mike Glenn is playing out there with his heart on his chest. I like the Jacksonville Jaguars, who seem to always cover no matter what the number is. It seems like every
Yeah.
single
A
game they
crazy
cover.
stat also about Tennessee. Since Tannehill took over last year, they are 18-3-1 with the over. I mean, that's like 90% odds. So if
Right?
you can get double your money at 90% of the time, I'll take it. So I like the over.
Same. I think this game will be a shootout. And I think this is Derrick Henry's time. I think, yes,
Oh,
he has a history of doing just okay versus Jacksonville, but this is December, and we've seen him break out in the winter time for the Tennessee Titans. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys and Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not on really much of this game with Brandon Allen. We don't know what we're going to get out of Zeke. We don't know what we're going to get out of Dalton. It's been an up and down season for the Cowboys. I'm just not on this game whatsoever. Are you on this one?
it's just hard not to try to pick on the Bengals, but I understand why. Uh, the only thing I think this could be a big game for Maury Cooper, and even Gallup. Gallup looks like he's being targeted a lot. And when you think about it, Andy Dalton, this is a revenge spot. So I could
Yeah.
see them saying, hey, take the ball, do it 40 times, throw it 40 times. So I like the 3.5. If it was at 3, I'd really like it. But I don't like the money line. You're not getting that much money on your investment on the Cowboys. So
Not at all. Yeah. I wouldn't mind taking the Bengals, yeah, like you were saying at the money line. Going down to the Cardinals and Giants, this game scares me from first glance because we don't know what we're going to get out of Murray. His shoulder just seems to be messed up completely, which the news isn't really showing that. But you can tell, obviously, with his rushing attempts that something's wrong with Murray. He's not rushing the ball. He's not getting you to the TDs that he gets on his feet. That scares me a ton based on his shoulder. So this game is just kind of interesting to me. I don't mind taking the Giants at plus 1.5. We saw Colt McCoy look pretty decent, to be honest with you, last game, obviously, when they beat the Steelers. So something must be right with Colt McCoy starting. So I wouldn't mind taking that plus 1.5 at negative 105, to be honest with you. What do you think?
So this is where we split a little bit. So I like the Cardinals minus 1.5. And it's just I think the Cardinals are a better team, more talent. But yes, Murray's shoulder is scary. He's not running the ball at all. We're seeing him get like double-digit rushes with 60-plus rush yards. Now it's just a couple of times for 15 yards here and there. It doesn't look like that great prolific offense we had. But I'm just not scared of McCoy, Alfred Morris, Wayne Gallman. These names, both teams do want it because they're both in the division. But this is an 8-4 team. I'll take it. I'll take the Cardinals at minus 1.5.
Right. I wouldn't mind that either. Yeah. Going down to the Vikings and Buccaneers. So this Tampa team should be able to thrive against the Vikings defense. I mean, the Vikings defense is nothing to be scared of, but they also on the other side have a pass-heavy offense. And Dalvin Cook's injury is going to be what's going to be key to this game. I want to see how Dalvin Cook does play out, which that money line will move. I think if Dalvin Cook is cleared to full on go, I think that plus 245 is going to move greatly and have money on the Vikings. What do you think on this game?
Same here. I think that's a really good number. The only thing I'm worried about is the Bucks coming off of a bye, but I'd take the over. I could see a lot of points in this.
I can see this game basically being just a toss. Just everybody goes out there and just Tom Brady is his normal self and just basically goes out there and just throws the ball against the Vikings and should be able to easily beat this team. With Chris Godwin now back also and having his hands basically revamped. So I wouldn't mind taking the Buccaneers, but at the same time, that plus 6.5 for the Vikings, it's really good to me that I think they can cover that. Do you like the plus 6.5?
Yeah, Jefferson just looks so fantastic, and Cousins is the quarterback. I mean, he's not afraid to check it and to sling it downfield.
Right. So the Chiefs and Dolphins. So you recently told me an interesting fact about the Dolphins. Go ahead and tell everybody that.
So the Dolphins Stadium actually, on their noon games, the sunlight goes straight into the opposing sidelines field, and for whatever it is, they win about 70% of their home games. And this is a team over the last 5 years that has been a laughing stock. So for them to have that great of a home, I believe in it. I've always believed in it in my survivor pools and my pick'ems, everything. I never go against Miami when they're at home at 1:00. Something to watch. But I'm just not afraid of Tua. And this defense, they blitz so much. And a crazy thing about the Chiefs is, and we all know how great Mahomes is. His QBR is 105 but when he's blitzed, it's right at 140. That's damn near perfect. So with that being said, I'll take a perfect Mahomes with only a little over a touchdown any day of the week. And I just don't see Tua being able to drop 30 points I think the Chiefs could put on the board. So I like the minus 7.5.
That's what I'm looking at also, is that negative 7.5 also.
Oh, yeah.
Even at plus money, you have it at plus 100, which that's interesting to me. This game would have been different, in my opinion, if Fitzpatrick was starting. I would have taken the Dolphins, to be honest with you. I'll be straight with everybody. I would have taken the Dolphins easily at plus 7.5 if Fitzpatrick was starting, because him and Devontae Parker have just been a wrecking crew with Fitzpatrick starting. I mean, I don't understand how they don't play Fitzpatrick, to be honest with you. I think they were having a good chance to even make the playoffs if Fitzpatrick was starting. I don't see Tua being ready this year. From my standpoint, I'd rather, if Fitzpatrick was starting this game, I would have hammered that money line at plus 275 just to be fun with it and just take a shot at the Dolphins. But unfortunately, Tua's starting, so I'm taking the negative 7.5 on the Chiefs. Going down to the Colts and the Raiders, this game is going to be close to me. I think it's going to be a pick-em, to be honest with you. This game's going to be a shootout. What are your thoughts on this game?
Like you said, it's a pick-em, and we're getting 2.5 points. So I like that. I like the over money on the Raiders, and I like the over. It could be a shootout and where we could easily see. You have to think a lot of these games, like the crowd noise, I mean, that fake crowd noise they have, it's a lot easier when you're a pro not having to play in front of like hundreds of thousands of people. So going out there, that's why we've seen the over on a lot of these games a ton of times, except for weather. So I just keep hitting the over.
Right. So I wouldn't mind taking that over either at plus 51.5. I like that a lot. I think Raiders and with Derek Carr, basically, I think this game will look good. The Jets and the Seahawks, I'm not taking. Yeah, there's no way that you could make me bet on the Jets whatsoever,
No.
especially now without Denzel Mims. There's no way. I mean, it's the Jets are just a crazy team this year. What are your thoughts on this game, man?
Uh, Use the 720 in any parlay you want to make. It's a lock. They're going to win. I do like Russell Wilson with basically 2 touchdowns. I think they're probably going to beat them by 20 plus. This is a Jets team that doesn't want to be out there, doesn't want to win, that's banged up, and Seattle's going to feast on them coming off of that loss. That loss last week, Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, they're going to game plan hard. They're going to get this offense right, and they're going to score 40 on the Jets.
Right, and the Jets had the chance to win versus the Raiders last week.
I've never seen a team basically not play prevent defense on the last play of the game, knowing the only thing that can beat them is a touchdown.
Literally, what was their game plan? Like, are they like it was clear that they're trying to tank based on that play. It was clear.
Yeah, they blitzed on the last play and had no safeties over top, and the cornerback obviously got beat one-on-one. So
yeah, it was like they're literally trying to tank for Lawrence. It's obvious what they're trying to do because they had.
I don't blame them.
They had to win. Yeah. Going down to Green Bay and the Lions, I've seen to be on the Green Bay every single week, and you're not going to stop me here. I'm going to easily take them at the -9, especially at plus money. I think this game will be good for the Packers. I think Aaron Jones is going to feast against this Lions defense. The run defense is awful. We see it every week. We've seen Dalvin Coates feast them last week. I mean, every single week, it seems like the Lions cannot stop the run, can't stop the pass. They can't stop anything, especially without Galladay not being out there to help out this team. And they released Marvin Hall, surprisingly, who was looking good. So that was a surprising move, given they're trying to be young. But at the same time, there's no Galladay. So I'm taking the Packers at -9. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like the Packers a lot at -9. I like our cornerbacks a ton this year. I think that we're going to be able to lock down Marvin Jones, keep him irrelevant. Not really worried about Hawkinson too much. He'll get his, but it won't be too great of a game. But I mean, Devontae Adams is going to feast. Aaron Jones is going to be unstoppable on his 15 carries. It's absurd that they won't give the man 20 plus.
I know,
but I think we'll probably win by double digits. So I do like the -9, and I feel like it's a good parlay pick too with that 410.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking that at all. The Falcons and Chargers. So this is the line that I said in the very beginning. We got some interesting picks. I'm surprised why the Chargers is +20 and this isn't closer. I would imagine this at negative like 110 for each team. I would imagine it would be a pick 'em. Surprisingly, we had the Chargers at plus money, and I wouldn't mind taking a stab at that plus 120 for the Chargers. I think this team could be in a bounce back game. We saw the Falcons basically break down with the Saints before. I'm not trusting the Falcons. I mean, Julio Jones is always questionable every single game, and so is Ridley now. It's just injuries, and we also have Todd Gurley, who looks to be not starting. I mean, and his job is being taken away from him. So this team does not scare me with the Falcons, plus the defense is just collapsing every single week. I think this is a good bounce back game for the Chargers. I think this is a get right game, basically from last week. I think Herbert's going to come out here swinging, proving the doubters wrong. And I like the plus money at 120, and I like the plus 2.5 easily. What are your thoughts?
Same. You hit it right on the money. I mean, this is Herbert who's trying to get rookie of the year, who's had just bad variance with the wins. I mean, he should, the way he's playing and how many points they're putting on the board, except for last week, of course, and having Eckler back, I mean, this should be a pick 'em, if not Chargers' favorite, because they are at home, and this is cross country. So Atlanta has to fly. We always knew of Matty Ice in the past as being that home guy who kills it in the dome. So he's not going to have those conditions. So I'll definitely take the plus 2.5 with the Chargers.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and I just think it's a coaching scheme that's like it's making Herbert not the same quarterback. I think this is not his fault. I think with Eckler back, Eckler got 16 targets in one game when first game he got back. So I mean, it's not. I don't think it's Herbert's fault. I think it's more of the coaching. But that's just giving my 2 cents basically. But I like that, like you said, the money line at plus 120. I'm all over that. I'm all over the plus 2.5. The Saints and the Eagles. Go ahead and talk to me about how Jalen Hurts is going to play.
Oh my God, I feel so bad for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
It Philly didn't have too much of a choice. Everyone wanted Wentz benched, and it was either put a broken Wentz in there and let the Saints feast on him, or put in a rookie and let the Saints feast on him. This is a defensive line that's getting after the quarterback better than anybody right now, and they're just gonna. Hurts already got sacked 3 times in like half of a game that he played and got to throw a pick. Saints are just going to feast all day. I love the -7. I love the 310, and I love it if you want to throw in a parlay too. The Saints are rolling. Taysom Hill's going to just score his normal 20, 30 points, and I just don't see the Eagles with that offensive line being able to do hardly anything at all.
Exactly. Like I don't imagine Jalen Hurts looking good in this game. I mean, he obviously can run on his feet, but at the same time, it's the Saints D line. I mean, their Saints D line is amazing. I don't imagine Jalen Hurts looking good in this game. I'm not taking him even in DFS. I'm not taking him anywhere. Give me the Saints money on that -310 and give me that negative or to cover basically that game. Going down to the Washington team and the San Francisco 49ers, this is just 2 teams that are just so interesting to me this season. Antonio Gibson is more than likely not going to play, which that makes me off of the Washington like I had like at the very beginning, like we talked about beforehand. I would have been on the Washington team if Gibson was healthy and playing. I would have been on that team at plus 150. But now, given that Gibson's pretty much not going to play, I'm not really a huge fan of this game at the first glance. What are your thoughts on this game?
Same. I'm going to pass on it. This was a Washington team that we thought was pitiful at the beginning of the year, and now they just beat the undefeated Steelers. A 49ers team that looked great, and then got beat by the Dolphins by like 40 points, and then got Mostert back. And it's just 2 weird teams right now, and only getting 3 points or -3 points. I'm just going to stay away from it.
Same. Steelers and Bills, this is going to be a shootout. I think this is going to be a really good game, especially with the Steelers defense kind of breaking down with Bud Dupree hurt. That defense for the run game is hurting, but at the same time, it's the Bills, it's Singletary, which I'm not scared of. But you do have Josh Allen who can run the ball with ease. This game is going to be a pick 'em, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's a pick 'em as well. And I do like the over on those 46.
Yeah.
These are both 2 teams that, especially with Connor not out there, that are perfectly okay with having the QB have the ball the entire game. We could see Josh Allen being the lead rusher again. We could see Big Ben throw it 40, 50 times. He's got the weapons. It's an overrated Bills defense versus a banged up Steelers defense. So I'll take the over.
Same. I like the over for sure. So, do you have any last closing thoughts, man, before we get out of here?
No, like I said, try to focus on the bets that you really do like this week. There are a couple murky picks, but I do like the over a lot more. This Thursday, I like the under, and then just continuously bet on Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they're killing it.
Same. So that pretty much wraps it for me, guys. If you have any questions, you can always hit us up on Twitter. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Y'all know it helps me out a ton. And I will have Kirk's Twitter in the YouTube bio below when this video gets uploaded. So that pretty much wraps it up for me. I hope everybody has a good and safe rest of their day. Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good one.